Hello everyone, welcome to the video in which we talk about which character in Pokken Tournament DX has the best drip. We know which characters are broken. You know, we know Braixen is broken, we know the Mewtwo's are pretty good at the game, and Jirachi is something that should have never existed. Agreed?
What? Well,
Disagree, but
we'll talk about
I
it.
get your point. I get your point.
We're talking about the characters that have the best looking combos, the best looking mechanics, the coolest, just outplays, just overall cool characters. Slash, the sword and shield Pokemon. What do you guys think?
I'm being honest here. I feel like my take here is that Slash kind of goes somewhere in the middle. When people discuss like buffs on characters, especially self buffs, Slash is always the first one to come up. It's got ghostly mechanics along with long range. It's got really cool ways to pick you up from across the screen and start crazy combos. It would kind of even out for him to be in like high B tier or low A tier for me.
Yeah, that's exactly where I had him too. I really like Slash. One of the things that'll be a recurring theme for me is I like characters that have a lot of options. I feel like Slash has almost more options than the rest of the cast.
My opinion on the character is that especially in this game, the more just frames you have, the cooler you look, especially because you glow. And oh my god, does this character have just frames? I mean, he has the lunge into the swipe. He's got the King Shield combos where he unsheaths the sword and creates the mist, which detonates into shield form. He has a parry.
I forgot about parry, so I'd actually have him in A. Parry alone, just the way he slows down like time basically, that puts him in A tier for me, actually. I've changed my mind.
The positives do outweigh the negatives a little bit, so I'd say he's probably at the bottom of A tier.
Ooh, bottom of A tier. Slash bottom of A tier. Alright, I personally agree, bottom of A tier looks good, it's a solid one. Going from the best DLC in the pack to the worst DLC in the pack, let's talk about Blastoise.
We all love Blastoise, right? Especially when he had that big outburst of usage from people like Mutator and Cloud. Like he exploded onto the scene one day and actually became like a decently viable character. But I mean, let's be real. Like, I do not think he's incredibly hype.
So if you had to put him on a tier,
C tier maybe.
C tier,
probably
okay.
C tier. I'd say like bottom of C tier, maybe be an ugly sweater. I don't know, but it's very low.
All right, your boy, thoughts?
So for me, Blastoise, it's hard for me to tell how much of Blastoise hype is because I don't see him a lot. So every time I do see him, I'm seeing something new, which is something that's cool. The only thing that like really boosts his level is I think he has the coolest burst attack animation in the game.
It's true. That maybe what gets him out of ugly sweaters because he's got the best burst in the game. One of the best, at least.
Yeah, for me personally, it would put him in B for Blastoise, but right now I have him at the top of C tier.
Going from water type to fire type, the other Pokken character here is Blaziken. What do you guys think of Blaziken?
I do feel like he's at least middle of the road. Like, probably just, I'd say, solid B tier, because I can't see him being at the same tier as Slash, but he's got something. He's got Blaze Kicks, he's got Flare Blitz, Brave Bird, just every time you see someone swoop on somebody with Brave Bird, shout out to Bad Intent, you always use that for swoops.
Okay, I would personally have him higher than Blastoise, but not by a lot. I like characters that have a lot of options, and Blaziken doesn't really have a lot of options. Like, yeah, it's cool when you see him land something, but unless you like those same 3 moves, then you're probably going to get bored of the character really quick. That's kind of where I'm at. For me, he's just right to the left of Blastoise.
Oh,
so
okay.
you put him in C tier.
I have him either low B or high C.
If you guys like to see the same 3 moves over and over again, Blaziken can be pretty hype. Honestly, I think that the coolness factor of support cancels gets brought down a lot, and I mean a lot, by just the build-up of it, because Braixen, first and foremost, is an oppressive character, an oppressive zoner nonetheless, and although some zoners can be cool and interesting, let's be honest, Brixton is more like a bullet hell zoner that just throws projectiles at you that could be interesting, but they're okay, I guess. And unless you have a Brixton player that comes at you like a grappler, then you're not gonna see that much interesting things until Brixton gets their support ready.
If you like watching support animations, great character. I personally another big thing for this is, and this will be a recurring theme as well, voice lines. Brixton has one of the most annoying voices in this game, I feel.
What if we put Brixton on as the first ugly sweater? Or do you think that's too much?
Let's make it clickbait. That's gonna be your clickbait thumbnail if Brixton is an ugly sweater.
So speaking about really annoying voice lines, Chandelure, most annoying voice lines in the entire game. This character, bar none for me, least cool character in the game.
Really?
Fighting a Chandelure is super annoying. Watching a Chandelure is kind of annoying. Hearing a Chandelure is kind of annoying. Honestly, Chandelure is just kind of annoying.
I'm not saying she's high tier. I'm not saying that, but I do not think she's worse than Brixton. I feel like Shandy would be somewhere, again, another low C tier, because Shandy has things. You know, Overheat, it's a naturally cool comeback factor. Obviously, it's not fun playing against it, but at that point, if we're gonna say here that, oh, comeback factors aren't fun when you're playing against it, then that's just not fair, because that happens to almost every character in here that has a comeback factor.
No,
It's the same for Blaziken. I agree with the C tier placement. It's not the most hyped thing in the world by any stretch, but I don't think it's worse than Brixton, to be honest. I just don't.
I would amend that to 2 players, making that Vanny and Raikel. I played Raikel yesterday, so I got to see a lot of that cool stuff as well. Honestly, if everyone who played Charizard was like Vanny and Raikel, it would be an A tier for me. Air footsies are hype. Like there's just no way around it. Anytime you see any kind of like little shimmy in the air, any cancel, any jump back, all of that stuff, I'm a big fan of that. I think Krogunk is A tier coolness.
What? Krogunk is easy to A tier.
Okay.
I thought you guys were gonna diss this guy, but no, Krogunk's got the sauce, dude.
I'm dissing him.
Okay, hold on. We'll give you your chance. We'll give you your chance, dude. And I think most people would agree with Comboster, but Krogunk's got some like air footsies too. We're talking. Okay, so
did you not see Bularex make Jukum sweat? I bet Jukum was sweating at that game in Players Cup. Like, he had him on the run.
The one thing I will say that brings Krogunk down is his voice lines as well. I think he's pretty annoying.
The way he just constantly has like that snarky attitude in his voice lines, that to me just it adds to what you were talking about before, is how much it makes me laugh. Like he just, especially when he lands certain moves and just snarks at his opponent, and like he literally has a unique animation in his grab where the camera points at him and laughs at the opponent. Like that to me just adds to the hype factor for me. Don't forget about Splashy either. He's going to Frosty, and I guarantee you he's going to do something that's going to make people pop off. That's one thing.
Yo,
back to the actual character.
Also, while we're on it, let's throw in Durgs. You saw Durgs at the LCQ?
You cannot forget about Durgs.
Yo.
You cannot forget about Durgs, dude. Durgs is awesome. Shout out to Durgs.
So I guess I'll just ask you two guys. Above or below Aegislash?
Below Aegislash, but in A tier.
I personally had him above Aegislash, but based off of I think what you're saying, like with our general consensus, he's in the right spot. Coolest character in the game, no question. IMO.
That's not even a question. That's not even a question. You go
coolest character.
Instant drip tier.
Coolest character in the game. He's He's a cool Pokemon. All of the things like he can do. He has so many options, so much room for creativity. Like also the coolest move animation in the game with Dream Eater, in my opinion. You got clones. You got once the clones are out, sometimes they'll be off screen. You'll throw a fireball. Fireball will come from the other side. You got rifts all over the place. Like,
yeah, there's nothing really to add. This discussion should just be 30 seconds saying yes, Starcry is tier.
DX exclusive before the arcade characters were brought in. We got the Decidueye, the Archer. You know, you thought that, I guess, Charizard, air footses were cool. Well, now this guy's got soaring stance, this guy's got an air grab, this guy's got a DP, and this guy's got sucker punch as well. I think that the Decidueye overall is definitely better than the C tiers. He might be a little bit above Charizard and might break into the A tier, but I want to hear your guys' opinion first.
Okay, Decidueye, and I'm biased because I play the character, but IMO, second coolest character in the game, no question.
You can mix up a lot of what he's doing, and it's not like to the extent of Darkrai where every Decidueye is different. I don't think it's that serious, but Decidueye can kind of mix up how he plays the game depending on who plays it. We said Charizard was the gatekeeper, right? Was the gatekeeper for B tier, but I just don't see Decidueye in the same light as I do the characters that we have in A tier so far. Like, I think he doesn't bypass Charizard's gate at the B tier.
I really like Decidueye as a Pokemon. I think Decidueye is a tight Pokemon.
Okay, so we got someone saying B tier. We got your boy saying drip tier, and I say A tier. So we gotta go with the medium.
Yep.
Empoleon is easy A tier above the Decidueye, above Gong. I think that Empoleon, after Jukum just revolutionized the whole character playstyle and everything, just opened my eyes to how cool a Pokemon can be taken to. I've never been so hyped to see, oh my god, is this gonna kill? Oh my god, it kill? Or just the fact that you can extend combos and you're like, oh my god, the combo's not over. There's still more. If I want to get like cheese to death, I at least want to see a cool cutscene.
Empoleon is a very, very easy case for high tier hype.
Garchomp's like, yes, they all play differently. They all have their very own specific quirks and the ways they play the character, but I feel like the variation is not a whole lot. I will give Garchomp A. Garchomp's a really cool Pokemon. Garchomp's a great design. B, probably like one of the top 10, maybe top 5 animations in the game of Crit Dragon Rush. Crit Dragon Rush.
The Crit Dragon Rush, like his
Crit Dragon Rush. Hold on.
Crit Dragon Rush does bring him up a bit. That much is true, but I like his burst attack. To me, is like, yeah, the camera perspective is kind of cool, but I don't get too excited even for his burst attack. It's just going crazy on his opponent for a little bit, ending in like a dig, an exaggerated dig. Like, to me, his burst attack's not too terribly special.
Yeah, I agree with Tech on that. For that one as well, it's like Dragon Rush is, and again, Dragon Rush is cool, but also you never really see it a lot, honestly. So like, I think where you have him right now is pretty much exactly where I had him on my tier list, where it was just like bottom low B.
The kind of traps that Gardevoir can pull off, I think, warrant a good amount of hype. Like the kind of future sight traps and grab mix-ups, charge with it 4x mix-ups, that charge with it can break counters, stuff like that. And the anti-airs are really cool to see because of like how she can charge her anti-air. I like characters that have a lot of options and a lot of like creativity in the way they can like throw out traps and do things with that, which is cool which I think is really cool and like good to watch, and definitely deserving of respect. Like Gardevoir, it is not easy to get like a good damage as Gardevoir in my opinion. But where you have her right now is exactly where she's at in my tier list, right in between Charizard and Garchomp.
Here's my gripe against Gardevoir, and no hate to Gardevoir players. Gardevoir players are cool. I feel like Gardevoir is that one card game combo deck that only works like one every like 15 games, but when it works, it looks cool. She's an alright zoner that once in a while gets to pop off.
I mean, I can.
The point you're making, Comboster, but I don't think it's like to that extreme. Like saying that she only pops off 1 in every 10 or 15 times to me is way too low. I think with the proper conditioning of a good player, she can pull off hype moments way more often than that.
Yeah, Gardevoir makes a lot of Twitter clips, that's for sure. I'm gonna say that I like watching Mega Gengar more than normal Gengar. I don't like watching Gengar at all. Watching a good Mega Gengar just destroy the opponent with hits of aggressive moves, it's a nightmare. No, he's got more than 2 moves. Listen, maybe it's because your character gets annoyed by those 2 moves, but I see more than 2 moves, okay? And let me tell you, Mega Gengar in Fuel Phase, scary as hell. In Dual Phase, scarier. And oh my god, just the fact that you just have to be like, oh, if this person makes one mistake, he dies, is amazing. It's got that final boss factor that I love.
I just feel like this is one of those examples where the burst really dumbs the character down. But regular Gengar has so many varied playstyles that it's so cool to watch him whip punish a whole bunch of crap and have all kinds of different options with different kinds of supports to mess up the opponent in that kind of trickster playstyle. That to me is super cool, but I just can't get behind Mega Gengar. To me, it just feels like it's a very dumbed down, do stupid damage with big moves kind of character compared to what regular Gengar's designed to do.
So where are we gonna put Gengar?
Maybe Gengar could be the new gatekeeper of B, like above Charizard, but you could maybe argue low A, but I would think that's a bit of a stretch. I think that Gengar would be like the new gatekeeper of B tier.
I had him at top of A personally. Like not top, or he was a high A for me.
Ooh, I think I'm gonna go the tiebreaker route and just say that I'm gonna put him as the new gatekeeper of B.
Here's the thing with Lucario, is that he's kind of built to have a disadvantage in this kind of category, this kind of hype category, because he's built to be the standard Shoto. He's built to be a very standard,
he's a basic
very basic character with a basic playstyle. He's got a little bit of everything. He's got some cool things. He's got Bone Rush, lead projectiles, and Rush In. He's got projectile of his own. He's got some kind of air movement in his burst form. You know, he's got a little bit of everything, but just not in the same vein as Decidueye. Not in the same vein as something like, I'm trying to think of like Pikachu or something, other standard characters. It's just that he's just very, very basic. Yes, he will do damage, and yes, he can carry you through tournaments. You can do bracket runs with this character, but not only is base Lucario built to be a very bog standard character, but I just feel like this is the other example where a burst form just dumbs the character down. You know what's coming. It's a very bad it's a very bad situation for you, and I'm not saying it's like unviable, but you know what's coming. It's 6x mix-ups, it's 5 wide to grab mix-ups, and then he's got a lungy burst that can go almost all the way across the screen. So you know the mix-ups that are coming, and it's just not very exciting to watch, you know? I
don't like watching every Lucarios, but the Lucarios that I do like watching, you see like just amazing fundamentals. Like Lucario rewards having really good fundamentals. As someone who appreciates fundies, that's something that I like about Lucario. I really like that I think he's a cool Pokemon as a whole. His Mega Form I think is really cool. And so, but yeah, again, he is pretty basic. He does like a lot of his stuff is kind of vanilla. So for me, he was smack dab right in the middle.
Some Machamp gameplay, you know, it's like a chicken noodle, so it's good for the heart, you know? Just watching that Machamp get that level 3 release X, get that grab, get the claps done. You know, Machamp just has hype built around its playstyle, but it's a healthy amount of it.
I'm very much along the same line as Comboster, where literally my least favorite character in the game to fight, easy. Like, it's a bad matchup for Mewtwo. And with my other characters, even if it's a good matchup, I'm still sweating every time. This character stresses me out I love watching this character play. I hate facing him. I'm never excited. Whether I see someone who's E5 or S1, I'm never excited to face him a champ because I know I can just guess wrong and lose the game.
Your boy, it's your main. Go.
Save me for last.
I feel like the Pokken community in general has been spoiled. We've had Mutator, we've got Alistair, we've got so many more. We got Thulius, Oreo, oh my god, so many amazing YouTube players that have just pushed this character to the limit. I swear, the fact that Mewtwo has a synergy route, he has a damage route, he has a flex on you route, is amazing. And the fact that even though his burst mode is scary, but Mewtwo itself has the ability to hold its ground against opponents makes him even cooler. Because I feel that a character that has a busted mode, but you're good enough that you don't need it, I think that's badass.
I'm going to start off. I am very, very biased because even before gameplay, even before any of that, Mewtwo is my favorite Pokemon in this game. A, he has a lot of options. He can do a lot of things well. B, I like the fact that there are different elements. Like, he has fire moves, he has electric moves, he's got psychic moves. Like, that's just such a good homage to the character. I could see him being in Drip Tier, and I really, really want him to be in Drip Tier. I really, really want him to be in Drip Tier. But if I'm trying to be as unbiased as possible, I would have him gatekeeping A.
Being honest with you, your boy, I would put him in Drip Tier because I can't think of anything specifically negative to say about him.
I would put Mewtwo in Drip Tier as well because, like we all said, and the thing is, low-level Mewtwo and high-level Mewtwo is like night and day, and both are cool to watch for very different reasons. But when you see stuff like dash canceling, instant air dash canceling with JY, the pressure, the focus blast actually having a purpose rather than just being a meme move. The fact that everything has its purpose for Mewtwo just makes him that much more satisfying to watch. I think the best way that I can describe Mewtwo is just he's a satisfying character to watch. Pikachu's just, I don't want to say it, but like, he's kind of lame.
I feel like this is going to be another C-tier edition, if not Ugly Sweater, because I don't think any of us have anything super positive to say about him.
Yeah, he was C-tier for me, but I wouldn't argue if someone put him in Ugly Sweater.
I personally, I just don't like him. I just don't like watching his gameplay. Because the thing is,
we had positive things to say about the characters in C-tier, but like, we're not saying anything positive about Pikachu, so why would he be in C-tier?
As much as I hate to say it, I do really think Libre is cool.
As soon as Libre gets you in the corner, you know what's happening. It's web mix-ups.
I think that Libre was a horrible concept that was executed perfectly.
There's something satisfying about watching a Pikachu suplex a Machamp.
Who thought it was a good idea to give a character a command grab that punishes jumps, mind you. That punishes jumps? A character that has a projectile that phase shifts immediately with the follow-up if you land it right? A character that heals up when bouncing against the wall and that can stack up defense buffs? Like, this character on paper sounds like absolute garbage.
Tile is very cool in almost any kind of capacity. Like, he could definitely be a contender for Drip Tier.
I don't know a single person who doesn't get hyped seeing a Leaf Storm hit. Just where in Drip Tier is where I'm at.
In between Darkrai and Mewtwo. I can't put him above Darkrai, but I can see him being above Mewtwo.
Really? You're not gonna put him above Darkrai?
No, No, I said in between. I'm not putting him above Darkrai. I'm putting him.
No. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Are you sure you're not gonna put it? Okay, because I like him a bit more than Darkrai.
Darkrai is like in his own freaking league.
If somebody made like an anime music video of a Pokken character, it'll be probably Sceptile or Shadow Mewtwo. We'll get to him later.
I wouldn't be mad if he was high B.
I will put him top of B. Like I will put him gatekeeper of B.
Now, we've been talking about this a few times now, where we talk about, you know, obviously we don't like fighting said character X, but watching it is cool, or outsider's perspective may be changed. You guys are talking about the way you don't like fighting in Scissor, and that's completely valid, and your opinion is valid about how much you hate said moves. I get it. But you're talking about strictly your experience as a player fighting this character. What about outsiders looking and watching him? What about watching him in bracket? Does that not change anything?
I mean, it takes no. If it was just me fighting him, you would be C tier. That's what I'm saying. I'm saying watching him, like, has cool stuff. He has enough stuff to make up for the fact that I don't like fighting him. Enough to the point where I put him B tier.
Dude, like I said, I am a Scissor sim. Like, I love watching Scissor, and I understand that he has some weaknesses for spectating as well. And what I will say is that he has a lot of great tools. And I feel like even at NEC, when you did the held backwise against the Littens and everything, that was so cool. Everyone was popping off.
Oh, I forgot about held back. Why? Am I gonna have to move him up another spot?
And but here's the thing. At the end of the day, I feel like the A tier has that X factor, and Scissor has an X factor too, but he also has like a negative X factor with the staples and everything else. Is he a great character to watch? Absolutely. I would, if there is a Scissor game on my YouTube recommended, I'll watch it. But would I rather watch an Empoleon video or a Scissor video? I'll probably watch an Empoleon video rather than a Scissor video.
I get that I came into this expecting it to be lower than what I wanted, but I mean, I didn't. I can't, like, why B tier, man?
I think a lot of my Mewtwo thoughts are biased because I've seen everything more, so like seeing everything less from Shadow Mewtwo, I think I appreciate it more. I honestly like everything I said for Mewtwo just also apply to Shadow Mewtwo, but just like a little bit more. Absolutely drip tier for me. Like, Mewtwo has a cool Pokemon, but then you give him like, make him darker, make him edgier, that's pretty cool.
I get to play the final boss of this game. We were talking about how Gengar felt like a final boss. I get to play final boss the character. You know how burst mode for almost every character, it either feels like your ace up your sleeve, right? Or it doesn't even change the character at all. Like we talked about how Gengar is like the final boss, how Lucario just becomes like a dumbed down version because it's his ace up his sleeve. This is one of his win conditions. My burst mode, Shadow Mewtwo's burst mode, is just like he's just like flexing his power for a few seconds and then he's like, alright, I'm gonna chill for a bit. I think that Suicune will be easy ugly sweater, but he's not ugly sweater. I would put him under Blastoise, in my opinion.
Okay, I could see him being in C tier. It's not out of the realm of possibility. He's got, you know, he's got the big bad blizzard. He's got the sneeze cancels. He's got the donkey kicks. Again, I can see him being C tier, but I just feel like he's got some kind of recognizability, not just because of the memes of players, but because of how players attach to him and what he does. So if he is C tier, I'd say he's at the very top of C tier.
I'd say, honestly, the more we've talked about him, he moved from C tier to ugly sweater on mine. Like, I literally just can't find any hype or like, I like him where he's at now. Bottom of C, I think, would be fair.
The only good Weavile gameplay is top level Weavile. Anything right under like the pro level Weavile, and even then, like part of that Weavile gameplay I don't like. Everything else I just don't like about Weavile.
I disagree personally. You're right in saying that like you really need to get top level to be like for me to think this. But Weavile is one of my favorite characters to watch play at that top level. Like seeing him like just dash through things, iframe through things, like getting those taunts, getting like icicle stuff, all of these counts. Because again, this is another character that like needs like to work. Like just like I was saying for Gengar, it's like when I see the damage come out, I'm like, okay, you in all likelihood you earned that.
Give him to a player that will bring out the best in him. I feel like Weavile does deserve to be somewhere at least in the middle tiers, A tier, something. I don't know. He's got potential to be hype, I think.
Thank you so much for watching. Here is the tier list. If you agree with it, hit a like. If you disagree with it, you can hit a dislike. We're not gonna notice because now YouTube took the dislikes out. So only the right opinion, only our opinion is the right opinion now.
I was just gonna say, only our opinions matter now, so don't even bother about giving a dislike because we are always gonna be right.
But if you guys want to put
a different opinion, let us know in the comments below.
There you go. And if you guys want to post your own tier list, I'm going to be uploading this to the Verge eSports' Twitter page, and you can post your own tier list there. Also, don't forget to follow your boy and Tech on Twitch and subscribe to me on YouTube because all of that is free. And I hope you guys have a wonderful, jolly, happy holidays. Anything else you guys want to add?
Drink water.
Nope.